meetings can sometimes be a productive process, but there are some groups out there with some sinister ulterior motives.
Everything was in the name of God, which just justified everything. He thought it was like God's will for them to send videotapes of themselves dancing.
Welcome to Watch Mojo's Top 5 Facts. Today we're counting down the 5 most fascinating, surprising, and frightening facts about the world of cults, which can loosely be described as a political or religious organization whose beliefs or practices are largely considered by the populace to be strange, deviant, or dangerous.
He was clearly an antisocial personality. He was superficial, he was glib, and he was very adaptable.
And when I got out, all your children would come to me because they never had anybody tell them the truth.
Number 5. Cults often have one charismatic leader.
Is he the son of God?
I hope he is.
A confident person with a radical political or religious idea can appear to be quite attractive and even revolutionary to someone who's searching for a place to belong. And cult founders know this.
I've been involved in a number of cults, both as a leader and a follower. You have more fun as a follower, but you make more money as a leader.
This is why many of them actively seek out to recruit the lonely, angry, and disenfranchised.
People are extraordinarily vulnerable to being recruited by one of these people or one of these organizations during times of their life where they're in crisis.
Add in a propensity for deceit and manipulation, plus a thirst for power, and it becomes easy to imagine how a group of individuals who feel outcast from society could then find themselves enthralled by a powerful and opportunistic leader.
When I stand on the mountain and I say, do it, it gets done. If it don't get done, then I'll move on it. And that's the last thing in the world you want me to do.
Number 4. Cult leaders often use sex to control devotees. If the members of a cult believe that their leader is absolutely infallible, it goes without saying that an unscrupulous cult leader could then parlay that belief into just about anything they desire.
Sex was the thing that drove people. They didn't do any drugs, no alcohol. So sex was kind of the way to freedom.
Cases in point, the news reports that Branch Davidian leader David Koresh held multiple wives when overseeing his Waco compound during the early 90s, or the reports that Charles Manson's hippie followers were ordered into drug-fueled orgies with each other.
That night, we slept together, and I felt really loved by him almost immediately.
In Koresh's case, however, the impregnation of cult members by the cult leader made it even more difficult for scared mothers to escape for fear of harm coming to their children. Number 3. Cults don't let their members leave.
Which just reinforced the indoctrination that Satan was in the world, that Satan works through the ones you love the most.
Cults will do everything in their power to retain all their members. After all, if any of them left and spoke out against the cult in the media, this could make it more difficult for the leaders to maintain their power.
You have deeply ingrained in you to not trust anyone else.
For this reason, cults often collect all the damaging personal information they can about their members to use as blackmail should the need arise. Some cults may resort to physical violence, harassment, or smear campaigns in order to achieve vengeance or otherwise stop a member attempting to leave.
Window, and I can leave anytime I want, but I choose not to. I choose to stay here.
It can take prospective escapees months of careful, secretive planning to facilitate the first steps of severing ties from a cult.
It wasn't just like one day we were in and one day we were out, you know. It took some time for us to slowly break away.
Number 2, cultists are often brainwashed.
In the moment, I thought I was doing the right thing. I
really thought you were doing it.
I did. I honestly did.
It takes more than just an idea and a smile for a potent cult leader to transition from outcast to supreme ruler. Sadly, many former cult members have reported rampant instances of brainwashing and indoctrination tactics. So much so that the victims of these tactics often have little to no memory about their lives prior to joining the cult. An example of these tactics include isolation, restraint, and bombarding them with visual or audio stimuli according to the cult's wishes. There are also less physical, though equally effective methods of brainwashing, which could include misleading media, verbal debasement, or aggressive rhetoric.
He gave a lecture about how God had made the Exorcist movie. And this movie was a prophecy of what would happen to you if you left the Unification Church.
Number 1. Cultists can be deprogrammed.
And the good news is it's reversible. It's a man-made mental illness.
Thankfully, there is a light at the end of the tunnel. There have been countless reports of former cult members who've managed to escape the pervasive influence of their group and have gone on to lead healthy and successful lives.
that's what I was taught to believe, and I believed it when I was there. And then I got to an age where I started questioning some things, and then it just got to a point where I ended up leaving.
The practice of forcing someone to abandon a certain set of beliefs, also known as deprogramming, can be a slippery slope, however, usually because it tends to involve the physical removal, which is to say kidnapping, of the intended target. An example of some of these techniques was the Backing Control Center, which deprogrammed fans of punk rock and heavy metal during the 1980s, and allegedly reprogrammed them with fundamentalist Christian beliefs. Nowadays, deprogramming has largely been replaced by a kinder, more passive strategy of exit counseling.
But empowering people of how to detect, legitimate, healthy individuals and groups and unhealthy ones.
So what do you think? Are you fascinated by the world of cults?
Yes.
Are you glad your parents didn't send you to be deprogrammed of your musical tastes? For more obsessive top 10s and eye-opening top 5s, be sure to subscribe to WatchMojo.com.
When a promise has been made here, there is no turning back.